Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. I can see a lot of familiar faces. My idea with this talk was mainly to onboard new Ethereum developers from ETH Denver to the XRP ledger. I can see new faces, but also a lot of familiar ones. So hopefully we can also bring up some of the updates that we have on the EVM sidechain, a part of the already onboarding things that many of you may already know. And the most important thing, and I'm very excited here today because we have some of our partners in present here. I didn't even meet most of them before, and it's great to give them the stage to present their products, their solutions. One of the coolest things of the EVM sidechain as well is that there is many companies and many people that it's building amazing things that you can just reuse and work very easily with them in a very short time. So today we have 3 of them here. We have EVMOS on the core of the chain. We have Block Scout for the Explorer, and we have Certic, who has been in charge of the audits both on the chain and the bridge part. And later we will have them on stage as well to introduce their part. So as I mentioned, since I was thinking that there will be plenty of Ethereum developers in this conference, I was about to do an intro to the XRP ledger. I will do it anyway because I highlighted the most important parts. Because a lot of times I see people asking what is the benefit of the EVM sidechain, and they took, let's say, this other perspective, which is really interesting, instead of starting from the XRP ledger and see how the EVM sidechain can expand its functionality with EVM, which is quite obvious. A lot of people ask from the perspective of the EVM itself and say, why on how this EVM differentiates from other EVMs in the market. And I think the part of the answer here, it's because it's an EVM sidechain from the XRP ledger. So our EVM sidechain, it may be very similar to many other EVMs, but we also have the entire XRP ledger connected to it as a differentiation point. And what is these benefits that it could bring to the EVM sidechain, which other EVMs may not have? In the XRP ledger, the first point, and very important, is the robust governance. I think this is one of the most underestimated capacities, at least on the Twitter conversations, not in the real world, definitely. XRP ledger, it's now more than 10 years running with a set of validators, with a set of governance, and that's the most scarce resource. It's one of the most valuable things that you can have. Many people, it's thinking on 100,000 transactions per second, new capacities, etc. But if you really see what's important in the ecosystem, it's security. If you don't have security, anything else is longer important, right? And if you see, for example, ecosystems like Ethereum or other proof of work or proof of stake blockchains, they spend, I read a post from Vitalik, I think it was back 2019, they were spending about 30 million in development per year, the Ethereum Foundation, but they were spending nearly the same quantity every day in transaction fees and block rewards. Like, this is a huge cost for the chain just to maintain security. And this is paid by printing more ETH or these tokens, right? The XRP ledger has more time running this with a set of validators that has demonstrated to be robust. It's super secure. You can put anything there and you see that it's perfectly secure, that it will long. And that's one of the best things that we can add to the EVM sidechain. The EVM sidechain main currency is XRP, and this XRP it's blocked or transferred from the main ledger. So you can have some certainty that all the assets that are potentiating the EVM sidechain are secured by the layer 1 validators, which has been running for 10 years, and this is very unique. More points that also have been discussed today. One, it's, for example, the wide and active community. We are not starting from zero. The XRP ledger is one of the oldest and one of the biggest communities. There is now more than 4.56 million active wallets, and we have processed more than 2.6 billion transactions. We can see, if you guys download the EasyA app, that the XRP ledger course, it's one of the most used ones. We have 5 challenges and we are almost on top of the builders attraction. So that's really something that will drive the EVM sidechain adoption to kickstart, not from zero, but from a very important point. Mastering payments, as David Schwartz said before very correctly, there will not be a winner take it all, but maybe some blockchains that are very good on one specific thing. The XRP ledger doesn't have EVM compatibility, doesn't have smart contracts, but it's very good at payments. And there are solutions based on this technology that has already processed more than 30 billion in transactions, offering coverage for global payments and treasury payments. And this is this Ripple payments product that it's running from Ripple. That's really something, right? And finally, the aggregated liquidity and DEX as a differentiation of many other EVMs that may have many different protocols and many different places where this liquidity can be found. On the XRP ledger, there is again, from 2012, there is a DEX built on chain, and all the liquidity it's secured and managed at the core layer of this chain. So if we have all these things, then we have a very good point to start building smart contracts, to start working on the EVM world, but we can use through the cross-chain SDK or through bridges like Axelar that has been announced today. You can also leverage to the XRP Ledger mainnet when it comes to the payment. So for example, it was this, you want to launch a lending protocol. You can have the lending protocol, you require the smart contracts for do that. But at the end of the day, when you rely to the payments, maybe you can use the XRP Ledger or some of the infrastructure you have on it. That's the main differentiation that almost no other EVM can say. And I think that's a very good point of start expanding functionalities. Having all this, why do we need EVM? Well, we want smart contracts, but why do we want smart contracts? This is another question that has been asked just right before. There is many benefits. One of it is portability. Smart contracts and the apps can launch and migrate to an EVM with minimal code modifications. That creates a network effect that, even if we like it or not, if you launch a project, a code, a smart contract in any chain, and then you can migrate to the other chains, this creates a snowball of code built on Solidity that right now it's far behind, or far beyond, sorry, of what we could do, because there is many other peoples from different chains that can reuse each other codes, and they can just build on top of the other ones. And that creates a snowball that we need to join if we don't want to just get back from them. So that's very important. Lower cost, it's very attached to it. Again, in the XRP Ledger, you want to build your Explorer, you want to develop your dApps with a custom software. It's expensive, you need to find developers. Probably they are not this language or this system developers, you need to train them. That takes forever and it's difficult. Rather than if you go to any other, for example, you want an Explorer, we get Block Scout, it's open source, we adapt it, we rebranded it, and that's it. And we have one Explorer that it could take us years just to build. And that's one of the benefits of being interoperable with the EVM ecosystem. We can also connect to many other dApps. Now also, thanks to Axelar, this interoperability, I think it reached a peak because we can reach this interoperability from the EVM sidechain, but also from the XRPL layer 1. You can also connect the XRPL layer 1 to the EVM sidechain through Axelar and from this point to any other. So I think this kind of interoperability is highly achieved now. And also broad user base, as I expected today as well. We have 4.6 million active wallets, but there are hundreds of millions of active wallets on MetaMask and many other EVM ecosystems. And we want, even if it's just a 10% or 1% of them to get attracted to the EVM, to the XRPL ecosystem, that will be really something. The opportunities are very clear, and I encouraged people last year on Apex. I think it's even more important to encourage people today. We are getting closer and closer. The software is almost ready. It's very prepared for production. The amendment is published. It just needs to be voted. For the apps to launch in one of the biggest blockchains, obviously in Bitcoin it's quite difficult to launch EVM products. So you have Ethereum, you have Binance, and you have XRP. So you are effectively launching on the third biggest blockchain in terms of market cap. You can bring any EVM compatible contract, and you have XRP as a native token. That's also very important because you can connect through the bridge to any other chain. But if you connect with the bridge to any other chain, you need to sell XRP. So it creates a flow of increase the offer of XRP sold. You cannot interact with them while holding or trusting, for example, XRP. And when you solve that, all the fees on the other ecosystems will be paid in Matic, in Ethereum, in whatever, which ultimately grows and benefits the infrastructure of these chains. This is perfectly compatible and you can use it, but if we encourage people to launch these EVM projects on the EVM sidechain, this creates demand of XRP, because all these projects will need to purchase XRP in order to deploy their software. All the people they're inviting, they will need to purchase XRP to use that, so it creates a flow that it creates demand. Actually, one of the biggest goals, I think, for the EVM sidechain is to be the application of the XRP ledger that creates more demand of XRP between many others, because it's a general purpose application, which is a blockchain itself. And I think that's a very important point. For developers, it's a greenfield opportunity. There is plenty of applications. I think there will be a short time where you can conquer the EVM sidechain, as we've seen in many other EVMs. At day one, there is protocols such as TradeJoe or Benki Finance that are very similar to Uniswap or to Aave. Sometimes even they have the same smart contracts. They just change the name on the front end, and they just got 83 million, 20 million market cap, which is really something, right? So I think there will be a huge opportunity for the first DApp developers that copy the ideas that already work, or maybe bring new ideas to launch here to just secure a successful somehow applications there. And for users on the XRP ledger, you've been there for many time. Probably you already know for many other EVM compatible applications, but now all of them will be accessible, or at least all of the ones that launch on the EVM sidechain. There is 40,000 plus dApps on the EVM ecosystem. There is more than 700 EVM blockchains. So hopefully over the time, most of them will launch their products here, and everyone will be able to interact with it without leaving the XRP ledger or their XRP holdings. The very fundamentals, we have now the partners that they will explain better, but the main point is on the blockchain, we have at the very consensus layer, we have Comet BFT, which is a better performance fork of Tendermint. It can support up to 16,000 transactions per second, but when we apply the EVM par, it goes around 1,000 transactions per second. On the execution layer, we have Cosmos SDK, and today we have the EVMOS guys that built this module in order to bring the EVM compatibility. And at the consensus layer or governance level, we have the proof of authority. We have a proof of authority because it's a sidechain, and we want the sidechain to be as much similar as possible to the XRPL mainnet. So we have a system where it may be some rewards. This is not fully decided yet, but at the end of the day, most of the validators we have right now, it's people from the community that has been there for many time, that are genuinely interested, they run projects, and they will support, hopefully with the same robustness that we said in the layer 1, the layer 2 for the EVM par. For the bridge, there is an amendment called XLS38D, which is implemented by Ripple. This is now up for voting, and this is a pre-requirement in order to bring the EVM sidechain alive, at least for now. We implemented the same version of the amendment in a smart contract with Solidity, with the EVM, and now we have the bridge connected. Right now also there is this XLR integration that eventually could be a plan B, let's say, in order to bring the EVM sidechain to life, or both bridges can be perfectly available. The most important part here, I want to say, is we recently developed a cross-chain SDK, and this is very useful because this really enforces these cross-chain applications we are looking for. People that, for example, can have its lending protocol or an algorithmic stablecoin on the EVM part, but then for the payments or for the liquidity or the DEX, they can use the layer 1. So through the cross-bridge SDK, you can manage all this very simple and in an aggregated way. For the Block Explorer, we have now the Block Scout guys here as well, but I want to make a quick spoiler. So just today, this morning, we launched their latest version of the Explorer. This is amazing. It has many important parts, but one of those is it has the apps. They launched something called the App Scouts, so every project can list themselves there, and you can track. One of the most frustrating things, even for me, is that we are building the EVM sidechain, and I see many transactions and contracts and things going on there, or sometimes I see tweets of people that launched something very cool on the EVM sidechain, and I didn't know it. And I want to test these things, I want to use them, and right now with the App Scout, hopefully all of them will be listed there. We'll be able to find them by typology. We'll be able to start getting used to them, and I think that will be a very cool feature. We have charts as well, which is it's great. Today as well with the EZA app was on fire, and we reached almost 4% of the network usage. So that's really something, but we know that thanks to the new Explorer as well. And the audits. Some time ago, we announced the audit by Bishop Fox. The first audit was on the EVM part, on the chain part, and the bridge part as well. That was a great audit, but we were not fully satisfied. Security is the most important part, as I mentioned it before. So we did a second audit on all these things by Certic that could dip a little bit more into it. There wasn't a lot of issues, but there was one critical that it's great to find them, because when you run an audit and you don't find anything, you don't know if they did a good job or if you done well, right? So I think that was great to find something there. We have remediated all these things, and soon will be published to the new version, but today the Certic guys will probably be able to give some more information about it. Finally, as always, how to join, very simple. MetaMask, it's very well known. It's a Chrome extension. You can just install MetaMask. You can go to this website, bridge.devnet.xrpl.org. You connect there. There is the faucet there. It's fully automated, and you get XRPs on the EVM sidechain in just seconds, probably. You can start building or using the dApps there. If you are a developer, you will probably know better than me, but there is plenty of applications on the EVM that you can use. There is Open Zeppelin, where all these contracts are there. There is Remix. You can deploy contracts using MetaMask as well. It's quite easy, and I think it's a huge opportunity you shouldn't be missing. And as a network validator, recently there has been a huge interest for a discussion on Twitter on where is the best incentive. So we find that many people wanted to join the EVM sidechain as a validator. That's totally great. We are now trying to get all these things a little bit more ordered in terms of timings. In order to be a validator, you just need to go to this website. There is a very simple tutorial. In less than a minute, you can set up a validator. You need to go to Discord. In Discord, you introduce yourself. This is a proof of authority, so people need to vote in favor or not, depending on the confidence they have in you. So if you are already a well-known member of the community, you may pass faster. If you are not, go there. There is a channel called Become a Validator. Explain a little bit why you want to become a validator. If you are launching an app or something, people may be able to ask questions. And as Peersyst, we are now once per month, every first week of the month, we get all these people, all these proposals for validators up for voting, and then all the rest of nodes can vote there on whether it's approved or not. It's approved, it's already there. If you have more rush, you can always contact any other validator and say to put the proposal before that point, but we cannot manage to make proposals faster. So that's almost it. This is the public documentation link. This is the Discord. Everything is happening on Discord, so I highly recommend people to join Discord, discord.gg/XRPLEVM. And now I will pass it to partners. We will get them in the same order. We will start with EVMOS on the chain. We will continue with Block Scout on the Explorer, and we end up with Certic at the audit level. So please, Martin from EVMOS, all yours.
What I'd like to do very briefly is to give you an introduction of, you've seen a couple of FMOS logos around the presentation, and I just want to provide a little bit of transparency of what FMOS is, what the FMOS SDK is, and then how this is relevant to the Ripple audience, both from a developer perspective, but also from a Ripple user perspective. So the FMOS SDK used to be called Ethermint. So for those of you who have been in this space for a while, the Ethermint project was established about 5 to 6 years ago. And it was established to create interoperability between the Cosmos and the Ethereum ecosystem, while enabling developers to use their favorite tools that they would find on Ethereum, so the EVM, smart contracts, and all sorts of other tools. But they would also be able to use the Cosmos tools. So Cosmos SDK, Tendermint, I think if you've seen earlier. So all of this was the original idea of Ethermint, and now taking a look at what it's like today, fast forwarding to today, essentially you have about 500 forks of the technology stack that has been built and is in production, which out of those 500 forks, there's about 50 to 60 companies who are using the technology stack I just outlined in production. So this should give you quite a lot of confidence that the Ripple sidechain uses technology that is battle-proof and that has been securing some of the largest Cosmos chains out there. If you have an account, for example, on crypto.com, that's secured by Ethermint. If you have an account on Kava, or you use Kava, or if you've recently might have used Dimension, all of those are secured by this technology. And the FMOS team in itself has been further developing the technology and is now basically creating an Ethermint 2.0 version with the new FMOS SDK. So what else is FMOS doing? So we not only have the FMOS SDK, we also have our own layer 1 blockchain. And this chain has been live for about 2 years. What this enables us to do is to deploy new technology, to deploy any sort of new features that our users, dApp users would want, and test them to really figure out how battle tested and how robust are these different apps. And the FMOS team also uses the learnings from these technologies to feed those back into the FMOS SDK. So overall, the important thing to take away here is that the FMOS chain, the FMOS SDK, are essentially, from their original vision of creating interoperability between Cosmos and Ethereum, are now some of the most, again, battle-tested technologies out there that developers can start to use and should feel very safe and secure about using them with the XRP chain. So, without getting into too many details, I just want to make this a little bit less abstract, I think one of the really exciting things that this technology enables, and I think also the Axelar team is doing a great job of also deploying perfect technology, shout out to them. So I just want to show you what is possible already today that isn't a view in the future, but is literally possible today. So using the ledger, let's imagine you have a dApp that deploys on the XRP ledger. The user of that dApp can use FMOS technology that also leverages Cosmos-specific technologies like ICF. So what you can do, literally, is you can go and, by not leaving the XRP sidechain, you can try to swap the XRP token with Osmosis token. You can try to find additional yield opportunities by providing liquidity on Osmosis. Osmosis is the largest DEX in the Cosmos ecosystem, and this is already possible without ever needing to leave the EVM sidechain. So this is the true definition of cross-chain interoperability. What else can you do? You could, if you're were lucky and bought some Celestia, you can literally use our technology to liquid stake on Stride, which is the largest liquid staking provider in the Cosmos ecosystem, and essentially generate yields, again, by never leaving the XRP Ledger sidechain. So this really is the definition of cross-chain interoperability. And I feel like the topic of interoperability has been up in multiple of these talks and will continue to be a continuous topic that will be covered and is really desired for the EVM sidechain. So Yeah, so I think the only thing that I want to leave here with is the technology is in place. We're super excited to support the EVM sidechain. And the only question that I would place towards the developer community here is you have cross-chain interactions that are possible today. You have users across multiple ecosystems. You have liquidity across multiple ecosystems. And the only question I think that now needs to be answered is, what can developers build in order to make use of this amazing technology?
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm with the Block Scout team. And as we just heard, interoperability. That is a key topic across all ecosystems and networks these days. And what's creating this is EVM chains, EVM compatibility. So by opening up an EVM sidechain, we've got an opportunity here for developers to instantly onboard, and we're very excited for that opportunity with Block Scout. Block Scout is an open source blockchain explorer. We're currently on over 700 networks, which sounds like a lot, but with the rollup revolution, there's rollups coming on every day. There are L1s, L2s, various side chains, private chains that are all using Block Scout now. As far as depth and reach, we have way more reach than Etherscan does currently. So while they may have more users, we have more developers from more different ecosystems who are used to it. If you haven't used Block Scout in a little while, you may notice that we've made some changes. So we've been optimizing our backend considerably. The indexer is running much quicker. The databases have been optimized. We're also working on human-readable transactions and actually using an AI for that, so it can run through transactions and see, what happened. You can just check it out at a human-readable level, basically, without having to go through everything. So that's something that we're really excited about right now. Also, our APIs are fully functional, and developers are used to using those. So the main point is this interoperability is going to instantly allow many developers to be able to start using XRP immediately with the sidechain. On the front end, you mentioned dApp Scout. We're really excited about this. It's more of an overarching vision of a portal. So you come to the XRP sidechain, and you say, what dApps can I use? What's available for me? You can go to dApp Scout and instantly find all the dApps. And not only are they just available there, you can connect your wallet, and then you can, say, bridge over some XRP, maybe put it into a lending protocol, maybe mint an NFT, do all of these things just with a seamless one wallet connection. So it's really the idea of a whole overarching portal for a chain, kind of like Google is a search engine for Web 2. We're talking about a search engine for Web 3. And right now is a really fortuitous time to be developing this. We're just really excited to be on board with this ecosystem. As I mentioned, we're open source. We have community-based conversations on our Discord. We have people who can open up PRs at any time if you're interested in adding more functionality. If you have comments or questions about how our Explorer works or what things you'd like to see, we're about the community, and we're about growing the ecosystem together. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you to having me here to present and join force this event. So today I just want to highlight, or maybe sharing some of the XRP EVM Revolution in security insights. So I think there's a couple presentations before has been shared some of the the background, what's the XRP sidechain has been building, but just like a quick recap. So the project's XRP EVM sidechain is built on top of the Ether Mint, which is also like EMOS, that we're utilizing the Cosmos SDK, and with the adoption on the proof of authority, consensus mechanism, and this allow the flexibility on the governor design and structure for validator management. And the second point is the cross-chain bridge. This is definitely a core interoperability for the component, and it hosts the smart contract and to be able to support the XLS 38D cross-chain transactions. And given this, is also being to oversight with the many witness services. Then the third part is the witness service functionality. So this is a really important sessions, I would say, like for the entire system as a whole, because it's actually responsible for the cross-bridge interaction between XRP and EVM. And it also operates and supporting the operations such as the bridge initiations to account creations, and also like finally the access transfer. So now we're having the background. The next one that we want to discuss is the challenge, right? We all know that the XRP is actually the top 6 cryptocurrency in the market, meaning that there may be a lot of attractions in terms of the user, but at the same time also attraction from the hackers. So during the security assessment, we have been highlighting 3 of the challenges that the sidechain will be facing. The first one is how to enter in the large token lock volume. And especially, this is like the hardest part is to accumulate with the substantial tokens on a single chain during the bridge process. And the second one item is like how the chain be able to handling like different process logic across different protocol. Because we all know that different blockchain protocol might have a different designs in terms of the security capability and also the transactions methodology. And then the third one is the sidechain consensus security. Because the sidechain is communicating from the XRP to the EVM compatible chains, meaning that we also have to be considered some of the security witness that we're bring across from the EVM side, for instance, the proof of stake based security issue. And the last one, and also the most important, is how we have to ensure the consistency and the accuracy of the bridge transaction process. We have to make sure the implementation is come with the secure design, and also like the consensus mechanism has to do their right job to ensure the reliability on the processing across different transactions. So now let's turn a bit about our attentions to how the engineering team is designing and building this defense to those challenges. So during the security assessment, we have found out that the XRPL security considerations has come with a decentralized cross-bridge design, meaning that they have a multi-phase of a different transaction from different separate witness servers in order to ensure there is no single point of failure. They have a separate task for different 2 chains, the source chain and the destination chain, that we're committing all the transactions, being able to proceed with the independent and concurrent process. And this able to ensure the reliability and efficiency of the different workflow. And the third one is they have come with a continuous monitoring mindset that will be able to capture with the chain state. And this helping them be able to capture the real-time transactions parameters. For instance, the gas price, the nonce, and also this one be able to ensure or maybe like monitoring the transaction acceptance rates. And the fourth one is the proof of authority consensus. This is an independent staking token system that we're dedicated in order solely to the consensus design. So in general, I would say like the XRP sidechain security actually has come with a security and design mindset. Their philosophy is really embracing with a universal and modularized approach, ensuring the high interoperability and also the reliability. the system actually have been considered and integrated with a diverse of a key management in the operation as options. This will helping them to robust the signature authentication process and to bring up the security in security and operational flexibility as well. The edge case management and also the transaction monitoring actually a proactive and preemptive approach and strategy, because this is not just about catching the responsible for the threat, but also anticipate and also helping them to neutralize the suspicious activity before anything went wrong. So in conclusion, I would say like the security framework that the XRPL construct for the EVM side is really a testament on their commitment for the safeguarding on the digital assets. And in the same time that they were also helping in the interconnecting with the different blockchain ecosystem as well. And finally, I really want to give a big kudos to the engineering team who are building this complex system, because first of all, they are really skilled, they are exceptional skilled and professional team. All their code are pretty well written, documented, clear, and have a lot of insightful comments. They are really particular on every single narrow detail on the security aspect. They fix all the issue that we face, even though there is no any negative side impact. So yeah, having a chance to working with this type of high caliber and professional team to contribute for the XRPL ecosystem and build the security defense together. Thank you.